Hello,
Hello.
and welcome to
TeleVisionaries.
where we delve into the deep psychosocial significance of everyday television shows. I'm one of your hosts, Joan Birthword,
I'm Daniel, Janesdaughter.
and we're going to be looking at a classic, Perry Mason. And Daniel, I wanted to tell you that I have been doing so much exciting, evocative soul work about this. Absolutely. I've been dreaming and doing active imagination and really working through, processing a lot about my experiences with Perry Mason. As you know, I've read almost every book and seen every episode. So I wanted to share a little bit of my soul work with you.
Well, let's see it.
This is Perry Mason as I see him.
Wow. Look at the colors.
Thank you. And very enlivened, very direct, very authentic. And this is how I see Della Street.
Wow. I sense a lot of...
Can you see into that?
I can see through it almost.
It's transparent.
It's incredible.
In some ways. I see myself.
Just like Rousseau wanted a transparency in the human soul.
Absolutely.
I think you've achieved it with this angst-filled...
She is angst-filled.
Yeah.
I want to go into that a little bit later.
Okay.
But first I want to share with you how I see the relationship between Perry and Della. I call it controlled inhibition. You're yawning.
Call it sleep. It looks just... Whenever I'm drifting off to sleep, I imagine myself curled up like a little squirrel inside a little cocoon he's made, inside a little squirrel sleeping bag, and I fall asleep, and that just makes me feel so comfortable.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have a clip we're going to look at.
Oh, great.
So why don't we take a look at this clip from
Okay.
a very famous Perry Mason episode. That is so classic. I love that.
I've forgotten
Are
so
you really
much.
perfect? She says to him, and he says, "Yeah, of course. That's what I've been trying to tell you all these years." That's what I've been trying to tell you, Daniel, for all these years.
I think I'm getting closer.
You are. You're getting closer to
Excellent.
admitting the truth. I think that's the thing about Perry is his hero's journey, and his what I love is that every single person, as you see in this clip, even this very unlikable, repulsive character, Perry sees innocence. Innocence. I mean, wouldn't we all like to have our own lawyer telling us, "You're innocent. You are not guilty"? Can you imagine someone great?
There's a lot we can say about Paul.
Absolutely.
And yet, everything we say may actually come to naught.
It does come to naught, because what is Paul? He is a cipher. He is not. He is non-existent.
He's the private eye.
He's the private eye. There, again, we have some aspect of Perry's unwillingness to, at one level, he's like a saint, but he does not enter into life. He does not cross the line.
Oh, he's a bodhisattva.
Della. He is the bodhisattva, but he will not. So he takes one step further by projecting onto Paul his inner desire to at least view life. He wants to peer into the keyholes. Voyeur.
Okay.
Right.
And a private eye. What could be less private than someone peering into your world?
That's right.
As if privacy existed anymore.
As if it did. As if it indeed, Daniel. Indeed. Paul is again this sort of eunuch whose life force has been negated and withdrawn and castrated. He is only
He's
a
neutered.
viewer.
He's a neutral.
He's
Even the color of his hair can't be identified.
even the color of his hair.
He's a man at the bus station. He's totally anonymous.
He is Jack. He is everybody's Jack.
Yeah.
Except for that one strip of black through his hair
Interestingly,
that
Susan
says,
Sontag, stylistically, and she did write on style, mimic that
absolutely,
later
she
on.
had that. She had this.
The skunk-like hair of Susan Sontag.
That's right.
I
and
wrote
yet,
an
the
essay
yin
for
yang
that.
there.
Yeah.
I see. Did you write an essay?
I wrote an essay for
Oh, I'd love to hear about that sometime. The thing they do share is the skunk line,
Didn't
but
get paid for
also it's. I'm sure it was. I'm sorry to hear that, but I'm sure it was. You will. Just send it out again. The skunk-like hair and the yin yang. I think that Susan is saying, no interpretation, and Paul is saying, I'm here. I'm here. I'm so postmodern. Interpret me any way you
exactly.
want.
It's like interpret away. If you want it, I shall be it.
Absolutely. If you want, I will be. And I think that's where Perry says, "Do this for me. Reflect back to me." Not the Medusa said. That's where I think Della Street really comes in. This is what I think Della Street needs
no, the
a little
Medusa,
bit more.
The Medusa,
she's always looking at her compact. She can't face the fiery reality of her own, her own, goddess nature. I don't think
she wants to do that anymore. I think she's evolving. Look at the other totem.
Oh, the Anubis on her desk?
The Anubis.
Yeah.
What's interesting about that?
I see only one arm.
Mm-hmm. But you see at least one arm.
I see it.
She's escaping the past prison of women as only beautiful objects, like the Venus de Milo, who have no choice in the matter. They can be stared at, they can be groped, but they cannot fight back because they're armless.
They can be groped, but they are unable to grope.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. But I like that the Anubis has one foot in front of the other.
Well, he steps ahead.
Absolutely.
And she's becoming steps ahead.
She's becoming steps ahead. Yes. I remember you mentioned something about Perry with these, though. What's Perry got to do with these?
Well, that's interesting. It's probably less symbolic and more of a personal statement. I think in episodes past, there's been some mention that in the Justice Department, Herbert Hoover and Perry Mason rubbed shoulders at one point.
Oh,
now,
okay.
I mentioned J. Edgar Hoover for a specific reason. I think we all know, and I will transfer that thought to why do we never see Perry's feet below his pants cuffs?
Very interesting. Very good point. Why do we never see below the pants
I don't
cuffs?
know.
It's the same question I have about why, when I look into Della Street's office, why is there no calendar? I mean, is this to say, oh, I'm so feminist, I am so in the here and now, I don't need a relationship, I don't need a commitment from Perry, I'm happy with things the way they are. I see that in another way, that's like saying, do not give me a calendar. I don't want to be reminded of the bubbling, roiling, frothing magma of pain that is just bubbling up inside me.
Two possibilities here. Maybe when she was at paralegal school, they didn't teach the calendaring class, which is so essential today. Or maybe she's going to start her own day one. She's going to emerge as her own beginning, her genesis.
Okay, this is her own genesis.
She will scrawl if she has to with lipstick day one and go forth.
She's the alpha and omega of her own life. I think that's beautiful.
She's going for it.
Well, I think that's about all the time we have tonight, Daniel. So let's say goodnight.
I have so many things to talk about.
I'm sure you do. Thank you. And we will have a chance next week. So please join us next week. TeleVisionaries, and please remember that really authentic art, true art, it isn't just in your face.
It's in your pants.
Thank you, and good night.
And good luck.